Hi, I'm Martina. Welcome to Magnetic Clarity. I'm a kinesiologist. I use tarot to explore downloads that will help us cultivate the life we want.
Hi guys. So I've already selected some oils and a charm, and we're just going to do current energies, where you're at, what do you need to know, is there any steps, any messages, and I will see you in the readings. Let's just add 3 cards. Okay, pile number 1. Pile number 2. And pile number 3. For those of you that need a little extra time and a close-up, we have a little aeroplane charm alongside lemon myrtle essential oil. Pile number 2, we have a little dinosaur, and we have petitgrain essential oil. And then pile number 3, we have a little butterfly which has a message created for you, and that's alongside nerolina. Okay, see you in the reading. Hi pile 1. So the card you selected was this image. Kind of looks like she's almost got quite Ice Queen energy, hasn't she? She's it's almost like she's frozen in time, or she's frozen to move, but she definitely seems to have something she wants to heal or offer, and she can kind of see something in the background that's kind of trying to get her attention. But there's a lot of motion going on here. This is like an iceberg, and there's only so much on the surface that she can see or feel. Or anyway, let's just see what the actual energies have to say. You also had aeroplane charm, and essential oil was lemon myrtle, which is inspiration. Finding ways to free your inner artist, especially when feeling sabotaged. A common complaint. Yum. Okay. I just wanted to split this reading into certain sections. It kind of helps me really interpret where you're at and see what advice we can get for you. And see if there's any tools that you can use to either recalibrate your energy or to increase its frequency. Okay, so next card, Ground Zero. Okay, so she kind of looks a little suspended, fearful. But I think she's already made a choice. I feel like you've already come to a conclusion that you can no longer stay in the space or the frequency that you've been at. It's not working for you, it's not serving you anymore. So there is this leap of faith that you're prepared to take, even if you don't know what the next right move is. But okay, so there's a bit of procrastination here going on. This is maybe a blind spot that you're not able to see or know how to get your way out of. And she's kind of got writer's block, right? So maybe that's kind of why this oil is also about your inspiration and finding ways to free your inner artist, especially when feeling sabotaged. Because I think when you're already prepared to take a jump, this is like full energy, isn't it? It's like when you want to take a leap of faith, but you're not really sure how it's going to land. I feel like you've got this purpose in mind, this creative outlet, or this something, a project that you want to actually start or commence, but emotionally it's feeling a bit frozen, blocked. Maybe this is even a stress response. You're kind of feeling a bit frozen by it, and it's almost like, again, taking flight. It's like you're ready for takeoff. Maybe you're just taxiing on the runway right now. It's like you know you need to get airborne, but when you get airborne, how do you feel safe to be grounded? Where do you get your gravity in that? But that's the struggle, right? It's to take flight and also to land it. And the tools are, okay. So this card for me represents managing our outside turbulence. What is it that's impacting on your thoughts? Are you allowing the outside to influence your mind? But we'll see what Tara has to say, because I just do feel like with this procrastination, this uncertainty, and this frozen emotional state, it's like it's trying to, when we're manifesting something, our emotional frequency has to be already that match. So if you're kind of frozen or fearful to move, or it's like, how do you melt that armor or that exterior to try and find that artist to be free? Because when you are creating, let's be honest, you're putting yourself on the line. Literally, you're putting yourself on the line, and it's scary, but you're always feeling compelled to do it. And that's the rub as well. It's like you have to jump, you have to jump. And it is that concept of jump but growing your wings on the way down. But it's scary. And when we have the outside influence, like trying to hijack our thoughts, we get into this procrastination mode where we're not sure what it is that we're here to offer. But the magic is within you, and it's within the craft that you've chosen. It's just that there's probably an element of trust here that needs to come through. Okay, let's get some cards. Okay, Knight of Swords, the World, Three of Wands, Three of Swords, the Lovers, Death and Rebirth, and maybe just the bottom of the deck is Ten of Wands. I do feel like this energy is coming to an end, though. I feel like the flight's over. That part of the journey is over. I feel like you've quit running. You're ready to take action for the benefit of you now. It's less about going into some sort of fight or flight. I feel like that's why the World card's here. You're coming to a completion. It's like you've learned everything you've needed to learn in that frequency, and that's why you have this bravery to pick a new chapter. And like I said before, this reminds me of full energy, and that comes right after the World. So once you've got out of this frozen state of mind, and I feel like you already have, that's why you're at this reading. This has been we're at the tail end of this, and now this is the new inspiration that you're looking for to try and get you back on track and take flight into a new destination. Because you're looking out to the horizon here. It's kind of like daredevil energy, but with a free, empowered, passionate sense. Like you're out maybe surfing the horizon. you're going inward a little bit, but you're also looking for a belonging maybe, or something to that the tide brings towards you, like a new way of living, because you've been stuck in this energy too long. And that's exactly the sabotage, right? It's like you have these creative, passionate ideas, you're trying to bring them forward, you're creative, you can feel that fire blazing. You kind of already have taken a choice to bring it into fruition. And it's exactly like how she's frozen in time, or frozen. She's almost wearing her emotions like armor. She's putting her jagged edges out there so that she can remain protected, because she can't, like, she doesn't want to hurt anymore. But the problem is that you've actually been, well, not the problem, the perfect solution is you've been having to take time out to repair and heal and understand some of those stories. And maybe there was a relationship, or maybe it was just the fact that whatever you were coming out of, that chapter, that last flight, that last destination, wasn't really on your path, and you had to take drastic decisions. Almost you had to take a huge leap to get out of that frequency. And so now you're shifting that timeline, and you've come into a choice about it. It's like perfect choice between, this is really how I want to propel my energy forward. This is the energy I want to be in. I want to be free. I want to be part of a co-creation with the universe, or with the people around me, or it's much more exciting energy, and like you're making a choice to now come out of that healing phase. And so the procrastination might be that sometimes when you're going through a transformation, you're closing out one chapter, right? You're closing out that cycle of pain, or that story no longer serves you. And so now you're integrating that into the rebirth, the jumping off into a new era. But I feel like it's because you've been learning energy work, probably, or some sort of new way of doing or being. It's like you're not in this fight or flight energy. It's like you know that sometimes that hustle has worked against you, and now that you're working it through your third eye maybe, or you're working it through it in the quantum, you understand that you're visualizing something. It might not have taken shape or form in the physical world yet, but this is where you're at. This is where you're going to now start typing your story, or bringing your story to life. It's like you're pulling out what's been either the hurt or the pain, how you've integrated it and healed it, how you've stitched it back together, how it's brought you new perspective, new chapters, how you've closed out that last one. It's like maybe there's a part of you that either needs to journal it, see it in a different format, or even somehow gift your story to the world, which I bang on a lot about. I just feel like our story is for, the benefit of others. And I think that's kind of echoed here in this card. Sometimes that works against us when we think everyone's kind of judging our story, or we allow their perceptions to intercept some of our frequency. But that you understand that if you're in your energetic postcode or address, it's that there's a part of you that has, it's almost like a lighthouse energy, right? Where you kind of build yourself up and it projects love to the people around you. It's like somehow you've been able to serve that too. Because you've got the 10 of Wands here at the bottom of the deck, and that is a completion of some heavy crap, right? Like you've been carrying it around for a while. It's, it's like you've almost, there's a reference here to packing your bags, right? With taking flight. It's like sometimes you found yourself in similar situations and you're like, hang on, this is not the destination I picked. How did I arrive at the same place again? But now you're coming down that hill. You keep going over the summit and realizing that, it just leads to this kind of energy. And then again, you have to pack your bags again and redecide your future. And I feel like it's highlighted here with the 3 of Wands energy again. It's that they've lit your way down the mountain, and not necessarily always struggle to the top of the mountain. It's like when you free your inner artist, like this card is kind of reminding you to, and finding new inspirations, it should feel like more free flow. It's not fight, flight, hustle. It's because, right, the traditional card of the Fool, they're traveling very light. They just have one suitcase and maybe some ideas and hope, maybe naively, but I don't think you're naive now, because you've carried all of these lessons. You've learned a lot along the way, and now you're ready to say goodbye. I don't need to carry all this baggage anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm ready. I'm out. I'm choosing my divine choices, and I understand that everything up until this point is cleared and healed, because you've completed it. You've done the work. You're making a new choice, and now the new chapter begins. And where sometimes that projection of other people's thoughts, or that reflection of it, has hurt you in the past, but now that you've alchemized it into a story or something that you can share, now it beams light out to the collective. And so I love this reading for you. I love it because, when we come through those hard cycles of pain, or whatever that lesson's been, there's a lot of possibility to kind of hide and just operate on the surface level, right? It's like easy to just show some harder edges so that no one comes near your space again to trip you up again. But I really feel like you are, I feel like you've now decided to take on yourself and, heal those parts of you that is now a divine counterpart within. It's like you're now, merging your two energies of passion and pain, and it's building something new. And so, totally love this reading for you, Pile 1. I think we'll just get a final message to clear it out, to close out the reading. I don't really think I need to clarify anything. I feel that it's kind of super clear. Okay, can we have some messages? Maybe one more. Okay. Oh well, more confirmations, right? It's like, I begin my day with love. You want to stay in this divine frequency, so that the inspiration can flow, because that's when the tap switch is on, right? It's very hard to create when you're in fight or flight or survival mode. You're trying to always raise your vibration and be that lighthouse, and it starts within inside the mind, or within your spiritual connection to whatever it is that you resonate with. And as a creator, I'm sure you fully understand, well, maybe you don't fully understand the mechanics of that, but you know that it exists, and it's something that you seduce and dance with, right? It's like you co-create with it, and you listen to the downloads, and you act when you need to, so that even if you sometimes feel you're suspended, you're actually holding the line of your dream. It's like, I'm holding on to it. I might not always know the twists and the turns and what the next step is, but I'm not allowing my dream to, I'm not going to let go of my dream. And so, starting every day with that self-cultivated thought pattern, where you're like, I'm not going to start sifting through some of the lessons again and the thought patterns. I'm now just going to choose my future. And there is always a solution for the highest good. So, I just feel like somewhere between all of your journey has brought you here, and part of your journey is to pass it along, even if it's just within yourself and your new path and your new future. But it's exciting. So fasten your seatbelts. Okay, Pile 1, see you next time. Thanks a million.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thanks a million.
Hi, Pile 2. So you have Petty Grain, which is about stimulating, bringing in the heart and the feelings. And you have Dinosaur, like we said before, and this is your card. So this card to me represents Well, she has great vision, right? It's like she's got almost 5D vision. I feel like she's able to see into the future, or she's able to use her intellect or her intuition or her instinct into like really high vibrational possibilities. She's able to really solve a lot of problems in her life. She's able to kind of almost see it even in others. She's able to, put on her magic goggles and find magic solutions for lots of people around her. And but I'm wondering, I'm not sure, but when we're talking about stimulation and bringing in the heart and the feelings, there could be a little bit too much overthinking, but we'll see what the cards say. But yeah, it sounds like you're great at visualizing. You've got such a great scope on maybe the direction you want to be going into, or you just have a lot of answers to a lot of maybe problems that not everyone else can grasp. It's like you've got you've got a lot of clarity. So let's just see what the cards have to say. So we have magnetic capsule, stuck, okay, and one-on-one. These cards just have particular messages for me, so it helps me find out how I can bring the message to you. Sometimes our gifts can be too much of a good thing, but let me just clarify that for you. I feel like your potential to tap in is profound, and what I think happens is that you almost have to come back down to basics, right? Like if you're really tapped into, higher realms, or you have really potent intuition, and you're able to see all these algorithms in the collective, and like that's like a superpower, right? And when you're a visionary or you inspire people, sometimes it's like you can short circuit. And I feel like it's your solutions are so futuristic, which is great. So you probably have great vision for the future of maybe the planet or how this new earth is supposed to operate in. And I'm wondering if the dinosaur is coming in to just ask you to slow it down a little bit and come back to a few more basics, just to calibrate the heart and the feelings. Because I feel like if you're shifting a lot of timelines in your mind and sorry, that's spinning my camera, like there's a possibility of burnout is what I'm kind of feeling. And it's like, how do we just bring that back down into present time? And I feel like with this this card here, it's like you almost have to go back into repair, because I feel like, or it's that you're coming, more importantly, I feel like this is your energy when you're at your best, and it's magnipotent, right? That's why this card's called it. It's like, that's where you tap into your highest self, your highest frequency. But sometimes you either need to come out of that space and come back down into 3D, or you need to recalibrate it, and it's like you go in for repair. So whatever resonates for you, but there is a message here of reintegrating your higher self with your human self. I kind of see it in this card too, because it's like you can have a lot of clarity, but it's like sometimes you have this ability to do it for others. You're able to unravel some of their stuff. That's what's so amazing about you, is your potential to have that wisdom and clarity. It's that you're able to go, okay, I can see this in your head and your life and your heart. I'm now going to help you unwind it and put it into some sort of format for you. At the same time, And this can be empathic energy as well. It's that when this is your natural state, but that it can kind of get unraveled when you're sharing too much of yourself with others. Or maybe it's a possibility of just to, like I said, reintegrate with your higher self and your human self. And just remember that sometimes you have to live on the physical plane too, and that we can spend too much time in that quantum field sometimes, I think. And sometimes you really need to just bring in some action. And that always comes from the heart space, right? Like that's where you really want to be able to feel your life. You want to be able to enjoy the mundane moments as well, you know. So with this stuck energy, I kind of feel like on your bad days, that energy wears you down, because maybe there's also too much in your human life, your earth life, that's not resonating fully, whether it's you're trying to figure out, how do I calibrate and integrate these superpowers with my practical life? And maybe there's a possibility of why you like to spend a lot more time in this zone than bringing it down into something practical. And so maybe there's a bit of discord between maybe your day job, or maybe your path is feeling so stuck and burdensome in your everyday life that you're trying to wonder, like, how do I bring this magic back into my real life, you know, my real world? And I think you're either going to be calibrating it within yourself, or maybe using people around you to find out where the disturbance is. And we can trick ourselves a little bit, you know, because when you are in this space, you know it's powerful and magical. So it can't be wrong, right? It just can't be, because it just feels like magic. But sometimes we need a reminder that we are spiritual beings, but we are having a human experience. And sometimes we have to get back down to doing just that part, right? But let's see what tarot says, because I could be wrong. Okay, show you the card. Knight of Cups, the Star, the Nine of Swords, Ace of Wands, Justice, Four of Cups, and the bottom of the deck, Seven of Pentacles. I feel like the tarot cards are echoing a lot of this as well. It's like, this is who you are. This is the potential you could tap into. You are like the star energy of this of tarot. You're the healer. You're the light. You bring wish fulfillment, and you have almost like a direct line, a direct channel to all that, you know, all of that magic and information. But it's like, how do you bring that down into real life? How do you make that part of your everyday life? How do you bring that love and magic into, so that you're able to enjoy not only the connection, but this experience of life on earth, like with all of its troubles and woes and lessons. And I think you know that. I don't think you have this kind of superpower without having this vision. And sometimes I think when we're facing with our outside world, sometimes we see that chaos, right, in the world, and it creates this anxiety and the discord between the magic you know that you have within, but the magic that everyone has within. And you're like, can't people just tap into this, because this is what this brings? But it's like kind of like, this is where you see the energy around you. And the problem is with that reflection, because that is like a mirror image, right? It's that it's now bringing that anxiety into you, because even though you know the power and the magic of this, and you own it and you can tap into it, it's like created a divide between what could be and what is. And I think there's just a little bit of work there to soften and bring that into balance. I feel like, yeah, it's like there is two versions of you. You know that, and it's like you can't close yourself off to one or the other, but you need to bring it into balance. And I feel like that's why it's out of balance here in the Four of Cups. It's like you're loaded on one side, and it's like maybe, yeah, just not really realizing that this is only one part of the story, and that this reality here, because you can see this card is kind of cut into two. This is like a magical version of the story, and then this is a reality. And it can be jarring, right? Like, we don't all love reality either sometimes, and it's like we do want to make changes and we want people to see their power. But if we're using our power to avoid, you know, this is where our energy lands up. And I think the bottom of the deck is you've probably come to realize that. And it's just opening your eyes to see what it is that you're growing, because you have been bringing your visions forward. You've been almost fertilizing the world around you. And now you just need to see what's in front of you that you're growing for yourself, and something that you can touch, feel, stimulate, you know. And to remember that, you know, even with the dinosaurs, they were here but not forgotten. They've left a legacy behind because they had to experience the physical world as well. So, you know, what seeds are you planting of yourself with this high power capability, but being part of your journey? I mean, I resonate with this. Sometimes I can't wait to hide from the real world. You know, just play with tarot all day. Love it. But yeah, there's so much more as well. Okay, let's get final messages for pile 2. I can release ancient pain simply by feeling it. I welcome abundance, and I will pay attention to the guidance I receive. I get this feeling that you actually know what I'm talking about, and that it's like a bit of an eye roll because you're like, oh, I just know this stuff myself, you know. Why do I need to hear it in a tarot reading? But that's the human experience, right? We constantly need reminding of our innate brightness, but our innate ability to almost fuck it all up, right? Like we're just, it's a chaotic, beautiful experience, and it's always in balance. And with the reminder of dinosaur energy and ancient pain, and your ability to have this power of magic vision where you can see the past, the present, and the future, it's maybe tap into some of those past patterns, because sometimes when we're avoiding our current reality, like we go outside and we watch the news, or we just see all this discord, and it's almost like taking that medicine of understanding how we all, as humanity, got to this point, but to do it through the eyes of love, because everything has always been for the highest good. Sometimes we forget that when we see such catastrophic events in the world, but it's almost like, how do we use that ancient wisdom to an ancient pain to then release it? Like, how do we step back and go, okay, Earth School is huge, complicated, messy place, and we're all here to learn particular lessons. Some need to learn more than others. Some need to understand that it's all different and everyone's medicine is different, so that you can recalibrate, you know, the quantum with the 3D reality. I hope this makes sense. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. But that's all I have for you, pile 2. See you next time. Hi, Pile 3. So you have Naralina, and it says rest. Engendering a sense of restoring, finding time to stop and smell the roses. And then this is the card that you selected. So this card for me means that you probably are under some sort of stress, maybe with the outside world, maybe with your job, maybe with your current circumstances, feeling a little trapped, feeling imprisoned maybe. But you're hopeful, you're trying to find a way to fight through that. But it can be laborious. It's like it can fragment yourself into different versions. And each time you feel like you're losing a little part of yourself. So let's see what the energy is. But it's not all doom and gloom. I feel like you are being given and shown a glimpse of your future. And you see that yourself. That's why you're activating some sort of action towards it. And you're ready to release this weight because you are taking charge. So it's interesting. Let's see where it's going. And it's interesting that you got this oil when it's saying rest. So potentially, either you're in this space where you've kind of fragmented off and that you're just feeling like a paler version of yourself, or you've been fighting maybe a little too much against whatever this stress is. And it's like saying, stop and smell the roses. So there is an echo here that you've either been a busy bee or maybe you need to figure out some other version to nourish yourself. And is there another way to recalibrate? But let's have a look at what your cards are saying. And you've got butterfly as well, and there was a message created for you. So it could be a transformation. That's kind of the vibe anyway, right? Like you're already detaching away from your current reality. It's like you're no longer wanting this in your horizon. You're ready to set it free on some level. You're ready to transform it. You're ready to hope for something more. You've got meet the crew. You've got limited. And you've got this, which will mean something more to me than perhaps you right now, but I will explain. Okay, so if this is your energy and you're ready to, separate yourself from your current stresses and reality, or you feel that you need to, or you feel that you see it coming, you see a glimmer of hope, and you're tired of being in that space, then it's about channeling the energies around you, or the people around you, or the possibility around you for a bright new future. You're almost ready to take on a new view of the world. And, I feel like with this kind of cityscape and this possibility of astronaut traveling to the moon, it's like you're so far from this current reality being part of your true self that's why it's kind of been held outside of you. You can't seem to integrate it right now. It just feels like a burden to follow the same, maybe it's the same job, same career, same, yeah. So you're just like, you're so ready to see what more is out there. Where else can I, where's my new launching pad? Where is it that I can find the right set of circumstances to project my path? Because you know where it is that you want to head. Whether you're believing that right now or not, I feel like it's always in your horizon. We all have a mission. And it niggles us until it punches us. And so I feel like this is your moment. I feel like you've already experienced so much of this fight or flight, and that you're drained by all of these existing versions of your life story, and that you're standing up to fight for something new. And you're like, right, I'm going to find the people that's going to help me get where I need to go. And I know that starts with myself, but I'm sure that there is energies and lighthouses around me that will guide the way for me until I can get there. Ultimately, it starts with yourself. These are small representations of energies or archetypes that I created, and it really is about aligning what it is that you really want. Really, what is it that you want? If you already had the money in the bank and all the support systems in place, how would you want to spend your time and your day or your life? Or what is it that you want to call in? What is it that you want to create? What rules do you want to play by? What do you really love? What does your heart say to you? What value systems do you have that you want to bring in place? What new rules of engagement do you want? How do you see your future? Like, how do you get that vision in your mind to then, have your future almost come towards you? And how are you connecting to your higher mission, your higher purpose? Because that's what you're being called now to do. And I feel like you have been stuck in a box. I often say this a lot in my work that I do with my clients. It's that it's a modern day problem, right? Like, I'm sure 50 years ago people weren't talking about how uniquely shaped they are and what a life purpose they have and what their mission is in life. We didn't have the same amount of choices 50 years ago, and particularly women. And I feel like you're feeling limited in this box that either you feel has been placed upon you, or maybe you've even maybe done it subconsciously to yourself, and you're trying to climb through it. You're really detached from what it is that you're just not happy in those shoes anymore, and you're trying to break that frame and create a new frame, which is echoed in this card. This is a toolbox that I also teach about what is it that you want. It's like what I said, we have to get really intentional with our rules, and that means creating a list of what it is that you really want in your life and what is it that you don't want. And also to create space for the possibility that you don't know yet, because maybe you haven't trusted that your dream can be big enough. And so you need to allow space for that to breathe and co-create. The problem is the maybes. When we live in our maybes, that's very disempowering, because we don't have coordinates to plug in so that we can find our path and find those beacons of light that we're trying to chase and follow. We can get sidetracked with maybes. So it's like, they say about inspired action, and that's really what it's about. Like, if you keep taking action and fighting and depleting your energy and, getting, drained by expectations of others or limiting beliefs of your own, whatever it is, it's like, it's now time to recalibrate. It's like we have to stop and smell those roses, understand what it is that you're really fighting for. Because this fight energy, it's fighting against something instead of fighting for something. And I feel like you need to start fighting for your dream and finding ways to cultivate it, because it was created for you. And you're already there, right? You've got this symbol to say that transformation's here, and it's attached to this vision that you keep ignoring, but that you need to turn the lights bright up for that, and you need to do that. But you do it in conjunction with integrating each aspect of yourself, so that you climb through this frame. Like you just no longer fit. Like it's just not a box that fits you. So it's like creating your own shape so that you can, live the life you're supposed to be living. But let's see what tarot says. Okay, 9 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, the Devil, 4 of Swords, the Sun. Awesome. And the bottom of the deck, Hermit. Yeah, I mean, it seems clear, right, that you are going through this transition stage where you're starting to figure out where your light is. And this is the path of everybody else, and it's been carved out in stone for so long, like the way we're supposed to live our lives, the mold that was created for all. And you want to break that mold, and you want to detach from it, and you want to start levitating to your own light and your own tune and your own vision. And it's like you're going to then start creating your own path. And it probably has something to do with teaching others, because you've left a light behind to help light the way for others, so that they can see that they don't have to follow the path that has been carved out for them, or so they thought. Yeah, so you are about breaking molds, particularly, I think. I feel like you have been doing some sort of work around that. And it has, whatever this energy has been, has taught you a lot. It's taught you self-confidence. It's taught you what it is that you want to pick from your life. And that might be in coordination with doing this work. So whether you have done this work, or you need to do this work, or you need to reassess all these things that you have designed for yourself, that you want to grow in your life, all these assets, accomplishments, whatever it is, all parts of yourself maybe, it's that there's also one thing that you have been divinely here to create, and that's your priority. It's like it's been building your confidence to reach for whatever that lighthouse is. And that's when new growth begins. It's like you maybe start offering this to the collective. And it says to me that it's not that you've created some sort of framework that is going to be the perfect solution for everyone, but it's that you're helping teach them grow their own unique seed or essence. And so that even though it may look like a similar flower, that every flower is different, every flower is unique, and it doesn't have to be so carved out in like really hard edges and concrete jungle, or that sort of concept. It's that it's so much more. And then what happens is it kind of like gets cross-pollinated, right? It's that everyone else starts to have their own ideas and their own versions of who they are, and they just start leading the way for others to pick up different versions of what this path proclaimed to be, as they start taking their own modern steps for their highest good. And there is a collaboration happening. I feel like there is cross-pollination that happens, and beautiful things start to multiply, and because of that. And there's a particular reason, right, why things are set up the way they're set up. It's tempting to follow the path of everybody else. It's tempting to be compensated, right? Working in jobs with lots of money, and then suddenly we're also up to lots of debt. And so, there is a system built around that of keeping us trapped on some level and keeping us being the puppet and not the puppet master. And I feel like that's why you're so angered by it. It's like you see it so clearly now. You're ready to heal that anyway, because this is why you've got Four of Swords. It's like you're ready to put the sword down, and you're ready to coordinate those points in your path through the energy of your heart. And that mending that heart has had to take some rest, and this sense of restoring and stopping to smell the roses. It's like it's nesting yourself in your own dream, nurturing and healing where it's needed to heal. Because even if you might not know all of the answers right now, you can no longer follow these rules of engagement. They have completely been detached. You've already climbed out of that paradigm. And now you're like, when I know that I follow my heart, no matter which direction it takes, I do it from the space of embodying who I am. I rest when I need to rest. I act when I need to act. And because I know my rules of engagement, I choose to only follow when they call me. And as a result, this is when you get the Sun card. It's like you start opening up a brand new energy frequency, abundant, joyful, happy, and it starts to beam. And so you tend to find yourself at the top of this building as a light source for others. It's like you've kind of climbed up or, elevated yourself into this space so that now people can follow you. And that's why you are here, to help transform the collective. It was created for you. So, yeah, lessons happen, right? Takes a little while before we can see what the blessings were. But I feel like you're there. I feel like that's, why not only are you here at this reading, but why you're here on this moment in time, in this timeline. Because it takes a lot of strength to fight the system, right? There's so many people in a coma that can just kind of like sleepwalk through their lives sometimes. And that's what's intoxicating. It's like, you take my power and my decisions away from me because I don't want to make them myself. But you have got such resilience in this field that you're like, come on, we need to do something. So you've definitely been building your confidence in that. And now it's like trickling out into your reality. So if you've been tempted to kind of just keep fighting, this is your message to say, use that strength and that power and that energy source for clean fuel, not dirty fuel. And you'll burn bright. Okay, can we have a final message for pile 3 to close the reading? I make decisions from a place of intuition and power. When I feel blocked emotionally, distressed, or overwhelmed, I turn to my breath. Yeah, and I feel like that's just echoing everything that we've been talking about. And the fact that, just stop and smell the roses. Get back to remembering what you're here to do. You're here to create beauty, great energetic frequencies, light up the universe, and forget the hustle. and use your power for the power of turning the lights on. Okay, I think that's all I have for you, Pile 3. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thanks a million.